about your championship efforts at the Salmon River Lodge. Nice to have you joining us here this morning.
Yeah, and so welcome to our advanced training for our group in Hawaii, or anyone else in my group that sees this and has been in the business for just starting and already made checks, already advanced to associate or copper or bronze or silver or gold. And some of the things that we were discussing before I started recording, I do want to re-emphasize, because the Hawaii group basically has been in the business since February 26th. Starting, I know Jim started it earlier, but the business started February 26th with Brother Gary. And Brother Gary and his group with Cheryl and Colleen, that tripack, that threesome, those three powerful visionary people are the ones that provided that motivation, that group synergy, that re-motivated Jim and his wife Jennifer to engage into the 7K business portion, and they certainly enjoy the benefits of it and are providing good leadership. And because, see, they have a left team, but you're part of their team too. And I know they want to give you support and help as we all grow together. And it is a one another business, a together business. And I still, even though you have a goal, you have 10 silvers, multitude of bronzes and coppers, and you're an associate. You're all very young into the business of 7K, but that's a good thing, because look at the success that you've had in a very short time. Even if a person's only made their first $500 check, that's pretty powerful, and you'd have to admit, because what we're doing is we're communicating something of good to people, to protect the wealth that they've worked hard for, or they're working hard for, through acquisition of gold and silver, and teaching them about the power of gold and silver and why they should own it, and then giving them an avenue, a source where they can buy, sell, and then they can truly diversify in some unique, one-of-a-kind products that's never been in the marketplace, but is creating a whole new marketplace. The fact that we can be part of a company to create family legacy through products, through a business, and through income is pretty amazing. Some of those subjects I want to talk about today, and I want to give you some more tools how each of you at this stage of the business can enhance and grow your business even greater as we go. And we're gonna touch on the COVID shutdowns that are going on again. And so let me address that one real quick, real first. Okay. As I was, when COVID first entered into our lives, I had just sponsored a young man. Well, I had talked to him, and I let my wife sponsor him because it was beneficial to her and beneficial to me. And so instead of me sponsoring, I let my wife sponsor Wayne Clark. And but of course, we're in a family business bank, so we make a joint decision where's the best place for a person to sponsor. and we're going to help them no matter who sponsors them, my wife or me, or our business. And so COVID hit us right after that. Now, we built that business all during COVID and all during the shutdowns. So what we're doing is a Zoom. And I know we weren't in the COVID shutdown in Hawaii, but there was tons of restrictions. I know you were getting out of it, but Hawaii built during the same thing. Maybe not as quite as the rigid restrictions that were, but see, we built that business with Wayne in those COVID restrictions. Now, many of us, we still had our own home meetings. And because we don't believe the government can tell us what we can do and not do in our own homes. And many people wouldn't want to come, but that's okay. Guess what? The important ones came. That's the key. The important ones came. Okay. And so here's Wayne Clark. We went to work. I went to work with him very much like I did with Hawaii, with people he knew. We went to them and we answered their questions. We showed them what we believe or what I believe and what their potential was. And they decided to join the team. And then we started building a team. And here's Wayne Clark, became the first person to win a silver 100-ounce bar in the company. He broke the glass ceiling. He showed that it could be done. But Wayne was the first person in the company that was willing to have that fire in the belly in my group, like I had back in the 90s when I did the gold and silver with Richard before. And I made enough money at the young age of 52 to have no boss, no employees, never have to work with anybody or for anybody again ever in my life if I was a good steward for what God provided me with. And it didn't give me a residual income, but I was $1 million a year earner for 4+ years in network marketing. And it's because of the system I created. And here I am, I'm doing it again. I have my same system. And I didn't try to be the #1 earner in the company. And it's because of great people like Wayne and his group, my initial George Donaldson, my initial Baton Rouge group, my initial Missouri group, people who were broke and had to go back to work after they retired. I didn't start the business with a lot of young, dynamic people. Everybody I started with was my age. And most of them had to go back to work because they were retired. And they all had the excuse, I don't have any money. And I just point blank was honest with them. Well, what the heck's going to change for next year if you don't do something different? Get your credit card out, join this thing with me, and let's make a difference. I'm going to be there to help you. Now, you get to say the same thing to everybody that tells you they don't have any money. Because you know it works, you make money. You've got proof in the pudding already in very, very short period of time. So use it. Don't be shy. And Cheryl, don't be shy to let people know how much money you're making. Not a single person. Because most people do not make money in network marketing. It's fake. They're taught, they teach their people to fake it till they make it. As big as network marketing is, and all the people who are in network marketing, do you know that less than 3% of all the people doing network marketing average more than $1,000 a month? Hello, wake up. Look at you in such a short period of time. You're breaking records. Let people know that. See, all the other companies teach people, no, don't talk about that. Don't talk about how much product you got to buy. Don't talk about how full your closet is of stuff that you can't even use. And it's got an expiration date and you're going to end up having to give it away. How many of you want to give away your gold and silver that you're collecting already? Brings me to another point. I have people in this business, and you're going to hear people, and I want each of you to start doing this right now, especially those that feel that you aren't making the money you think you should be making or want to make. Well, that's not a good attitude, but you're buying a product every month. You're buying an exclusive, unique product. And I've had people in my group do this, and I want you to do it too. And now you got a better means because you got stack and sell. So every time you get a product, get in there. It's a free website. It's another website you have. Scan your product, put it in your inventory. It's going to keep account of what you spent. And you'll listen to a training I did with a group earlier at 10 o'clock. I'm going to post it on y'all's app, the band app, and the Telegram. And just make sure it's your job to get your team from your left and right, like Ku'ule and like Brittany. It's your job to get every member eventually on that band app. It's your job, not mine, to get them on this training. And you want to have at least 2 people on your left and 2 people on your right on this training every week, or that they own that band app, that they watch it once a week. If they don't get trained, they can't make the big money. And who would you rather get trained by? All these other people in the company that's never made $1 million a year, or a person that's experienced making $1 million a year and didn't even try to be the top earner in the company, and now it's the top earner in the company? Who do you want to get trained by? It's a simple thing. Every successful person in life that I've read about, and all success things, says you look for the successful people and you just hope and pray that one of them mentor you or take a little time to mentor you. See, it's your job to get your leaders here if you want to have leaders. Not mine, not Pastor Gary's, not Cheryl's. It's each of our jobs. Okay. And we should have, we've got almost 1,300 people in a Hawaii group right now. We should have 500 people on this training session if they want to make money. So I know who wants to make money by who's on the training session. I know who wants to change their life by who's on the training sessions. Now, I know there are circumstances that people can't be on. There you know, some people can't be here because of their beliefs, and I'm fine with that. But I know that other people catch up too. I just want to explain the importance of a leader having at least 2 people on your left team and 2 people on your right team that is being trained, that wants the same thing that you want. And you start by having 1 and 1. That's the best way to do it. 1 and 1. Then you get that second one. Then you get that third one. Then you get that fourth one. And see, when you get those 4 on each side, making consistent effort, doing my system, which this is part of the system, you will make a walk away residual income with this and build a family legacy like you've never built before. What do I mean by that? Well, I gave a training on earlier, and I'm not going to repeat it here, but I'm going to give a little bit of summary of it. You see that's called a Roman coin series. Now, the only way you can buy these deadgum things are either on the VIP, which you're not a member of the VIP, you can't. That was $1,405, and you got 450 points, but it was limited, and they can't have everybody a member of the VIP, because we get first shot at all these products, but we can only buy one. And so, of course, I bought mine because I'm a member of the VIP. I saw how valuable that was. So, I did it. And so did a whole bunch of other people. And so we bought our one, so we didn't have to do the coin drop to get that. But I don't buy one. I try to get 3 sets. And in the beginning, I tried to get 4, but I can't because I have 4 grandchildren. And this coin is going to set records in the marketplace. It's going to be one of the first coins that we're going to be able to complete a unique set. But this coin is the first coin with a country's currency. Now, y'all know what that means. It's like the silver eagle, the maple leaf, the kangaroo, the Philharmonic. But hopefully y'all learned that at this stage. But the first coin with this country's currency in history that's ever had another private company's logo on the coin right there in that star. That's going to make huge inroads in the future market of $4.2 billion residual numismatic marketplace out there. And it has the initials of each of the co-founders and you and me, because see, we're part of making this happen. The you on there. Well, there's only 500 of these. We shut down the company servers again on the coin drop. And a lot of people don't know how to do them, and y'all all knew, so you don't. You just keep refreshing, refresh. You don't log out and log back in. You're starting all over again. You just keep refreshing every time you get that error. And see, I did that too. And, I kept refreshing until I got it in my cart. Then I kept refreshing because it'd say error, this page, it doesn't work. Kept refreshing. You know how you refresh your page. But I didn't log out and log back in. I didn't X out. And then it brought me into my cart. And then I played place order. And then error 401, kept refreshing. I had to refresh about 30 times. And bingo, it took my order. I couldn't print out the receipt because, but when you got 20,000 people hitting a server at one time, they can't get enough server space. It'd be ridiculous for them to try buy all those servers for a coin drop once or twice a month. I mean, they bought a lot of excess capacity, but it's just that's going to happen. And if people heard my presentation at Salt Lake City, I told you, this is one of the most exciting, frustrating, exhilarating rides up and down. And then when you don't get one, it's really not very pleasant. It's how you feel. But when you get one, it's like you're ecstatic because it went through. You got one. Well, it is important to get the set. Let me just explain why. We will soon finish this series. There's only 500 of these coins, and I know they're $350. But guess what? You can't buy a Julius Caesar for under $1,000 right now. That was the first coin. You can't buy a Bruce for $1,000. That's already almost 3 times what we paid for. And trust me, I'm not selling mine either. Okay. And so when this 12 is finished, and it'll be finished very shortly, we would have paid about $350 times 12 coins. That's according to my math, about $4,200. Well, that's $4,200. Wow, that's a lot of money for a lot of people. Really? That's a whole set. I think there will only be about 300 people in the whole world that'll have a whole set of 12. Because see, I'm not the only one buying multiples. And so there are probably only 300, if that many, that has a whole set of 12. And I already forecasted earlier that I think the very first sale price is going to be pretty soon thereafter. And it's not going to be sold to somebody in 7K. That first set's going to be sold to all those numismatic people that are salivating to get these coins, but they don't even have a chance to buy them. We get first opportunity to buy all these unique, exclusive coins. And I think that first set of 12 will sell for at least $25,000. Whoa, that's an average of about $2,000 a coin. But we only paid $4,200 for it. But to me, I'm not selling mine for $25,000 because I think that's underpriced. In less than 10 years, a set of these coins will sell for over 100 grand. And see, these are the things you need to learn about. These are things you need to be able to not just, you need to learn more about the intricacies of the big market, the $4.2 billion. And I'm going to teach you about a lot of it. Okay. And we have all the tools to start doing it. And I've done some of it already over the last 4 years to our group when we started having the 50 state collection. Then when we started having the animal series. And then when we started having other unique products that we brought into the fold that we had a major first right of refusal on to offer into the marketplace. And then when the Miles Standish coins came out, see the Miles Standish coins with Lady Liberty, well, with the Lady Liberty set is complete, but that's not that's just a set of a bigger, that's just a subset of a bigger set. It's the Miles Standish series that's going to be the big value. So y'all remember in our presentation, we talk about the $1.2 million mistake. Well, that's a real reality. And that's why we want everybody to join and get on auto shipper. It's not for you and I to make money off of them. It's for their own good. It teaches them diversification. It teaches them to accumulate wealth. And it's something they shouldn't be missing, 105. So let me give the example that I'm getting to. I have people that retired, broke, had to go back to work because pension check and Social Security check didn't make, but they gave it in this business. I all had the excuse, I don't have the money. And I told every one of them, pull out your credit card and get in here and let's change that situation. No, I did not pay their way to get in. And believe me, a couple of them asked me to pay their way to get in. And I said no. And it isn't that I was being hard. I know they have to have skin in the game to do something, to get off the couch and do something that's going to help themselves. And so I teach people how to fish. You need to teach people how to fish. Then they can feed their family for the rest of their lives. But if you just keep giving them fish, they're going to come with 2 hands the next time. And they're going to want 2 fish. Okay? That's just human nature. Okay? So these people had a problem even wanting to buy their coin of the month. And I said, well, if you want my time, you're going to buy the coin of the month. You're not buying the coin of the month, do not call me for help. Because you don't see enough to understand what you need to do. Until you learn that and start doing that, then you're going to get my help. Well, some of you think, man, that might be a little harsh. No. It's teaching people how to grow up. And it's for their own good. Let me exemplify. I now have many people in my business that have bought their coin of the month, and then they started buying other of these products when they learned they liked them, and they bought some of the other unique products. And I have one of these this morning we talked about, and it was on. They have over $28,000 over the 4-year period that they spent to buying collectible products. They didn't have to do that. They went from buying 1 a month to buying 3 a month on each of their business family packs, which I do teach you to do, but I'd say you don't have to, but I did it from day one. And why? Because I want to build up bank volume, because I know I'm going to build leverage centers in the future. And so, but it does something else. It forces you to accumulate wealth. And he said, look, I'm putting mine in. He's got over $28,000 that he spent, and his products are worth 78% more than what he spent on them. That's a market value. But here's the important point. We would have never saved $28,000 because it's in this. He doesn't want to sell it. For the first time in their life, they were disciplined enough to have savings that they would have never had. And they're already past retirement age, already on both of them Social Security, but is still having to work. And then I taught another principle. Okay, everybody take note. This is something I hadn't taught you, but it's time. Y'all been in business long enough. It's time I teach you the same thing I've taught everybody for 4.5 years. I teach people, don't take your commission check out of your back office. What? I gotta pay bills. No, you're in a big business. You don't start a business and take all your income from a business and spend it on stuff and bills, or you're going to be shutting your business down the next day. You always reinvest in a business, and most small businesses take 7 years to break even, but you don't take this in this business. What I teach people is this: leave your checks there, let it buy your coin of the month. It's not charging your credit card, because see, if you got money in your wallet, it will use that money preferentially, automatically, without you even making a choice, to buy your auto ship. And so now your business is funded, and you buying your auto ship because you put commissions in there, and you're reinvesting into your business, and you're accumulating personal wealth at the same time. And then what you do is you leave enough in until you get 1 year's worth of auto ships as a minimum balance to keep in your sound money wallet. Now you've worked hard enough that you can enjoy some of the commissions to spend and do things with. Anything over that, but you must keep a minimum in your sound money wallet. And you'll never have a problem being active. If you get sick, you get incapacitated, you get in the hospital, you won't have to worry. It's on auto ship. You got money there. It takes care of it yourself. And I've had several people over the 4-year period that's happened to them. But guess what? Their business stayed active. Their auto ship hit every month while they were in the hospital. They didn't have to remember to go process now. They didn't have to go order something. They didn't lose all their points because they were hospitalized. It's plain big business principles. And I want to teach you how to operate a 6-figure income business so it regenerates and grows for you for the rest of your life. What I'm teaching is nothing new. It's plain business principles. And any person that operates their own business understands what I just said. And so Now I'm going to give you the one step up. Once you get that happening, and if you can, what you need to do is buy bullion every month, right along with your autosaver, so you get it at pure cost. Now, you can't get American Eagles anymore because of this last shortage. We used to have everybody, I'd have them get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever they could afford, but at least get 1 ounce bullion coin added to your autosaver, and you are accumulating silver, which we all know we should do instead of this stuff. And you do it on a recurring monthly basis. You're protecting your wealth now because, see, they both bought a gallon of milk in 1965. That bought a half a pint in 2019. That bought 5.1 gallons. In 2021, that only buy a taste of milk somewhere. That buys today over 7 gallons. See, that's why you should be buying every month a consistent amount. It's like dollar cost averaging if you're investing in a stock market or mutual funds or anything else. Learn to protect and build and accumulate wealth. Now, those of us, I put people who are retired or approaching retirement, got all your retirement funds in dollar annuities, stocks, mutual funds, IRA, 401k, all that junk. Well, you need to start converting that into a certain portion of silver and gold. That gives you that protection you need. But that's up to you. You make up your own mind about that. And believe me, on the YouTube, I have what I call net worth presentation. Y'all need to search it out, find it. I teach you how, based on your age, what I have always used in terms of percentage of your net worth that you should have in gold and silver to protect yourself. Real quickly, if you're under the age of 40, you should have 10 to 15% of your total net worth in gold and silver at any one time, minimum. If you're 40 to 55, you should have a minimum 15 and up to 20%. If you're over 55, you should be, and the older you get, the higher that percentage in gold and silver should be. And I think y'all all should know why. Milk tells you why. You should be like me. I'm 74. I got more than 50% of my net worth in gold and silver. Now, what's my probability I'm going to lose any of that, going bankrupt? Never again will I lose $980,000 in the stock market over a period of years. See, gold and silver never lost me a penny. It's always made money for me, made more and more and more money for me, and what it would buy relative to dollars. So buy some on a consistent basis every month. Get yourself disciplined to protect your wealth before economic disaster hits you. And then teach that to your group, to your leaders, to your people. You discuss that. If you're doing it, you can discuss it. If you're not doing it, you can't discuss it. Let me just show you why. Watch this. Let's log in to my back office. Oh, heck, where is that at? Oh, no, I have to find it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, how about that? Let's log into my back office. Oh, and by the way, I got to hurry up and start working on me a little bit, because look at here. I could be making a presidential goal weekly salary. I'm just a goal. So all I'm going to get is $7,000. Y'all do understand that, right? Y'all have learned the comp plan. So I've got 5,845 points that I'm not going to get paid on, and it's going to go away, and it's going to subtract 12,845 from this side. But it's going to end up with more than that. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. It's going to end up with more than that. Okay. But I'm not complaining either. Okay. I'm perfectly happy getting $7,000 check every week. And my wife getting there, and we averaging 10,000 a week. Pleased as pie with that. And if I want more, it's up to me. It isn't up to anybody else. Okay. So now you see that part, but let's go to my auto saver. Okay. Let's go to my auto. Let's see what Bob does. Oh, gee whiz. Bob does what he teaches, doesn't he? Amazing. See, I don't buy the American Eagle coin anymore. I either buy the Maple Leaf or the Britannica or the Kangaroo or one of the other coins, and I get free shipping, well, minimal shipping, because I'm going to pay shipping on this anyway. So why not be economic minded and make money work for me instead of spending expenses? And so I add this bullion. I get it at cost, but I don't care what it costs when I order it. It's going to dollar cost average over time. And I know I'm going to be building wealth. That's a principle I've been doing for almost 20 plus years in gold and silver. And look what it did for me. It can do the same for you. So that's that. Now we're really getting into advanced training, aren't we? See, we're really getting into advanced training. But this is what builds wealth. And you're going to have lots of examples and people you're hearing about people who never would have saved what they have accumulated in wealth. And I'll guarantee, you know what? Not a single person's ever got mad at me because they got so much gold and silver accumulated in 4 years buying monthly products. I have one young man. I mean, he got in because he knew that this was, oh, gee whiz, almost 3 years ago. And he's right here in Gonzales, Louisiana. Worked hard all of his life as a machinist. Retired, had to go back to work. But he saved. He had about almost 400 grand saved up in his retirement accounts. And he come to understand that, his money wasn't making him money anymore, and he has a lot to lose. And if he lost that, he basically wouldn't have a retirement. So he started, but he heard me talk about gold and silver one time. He'd been looking into it, but he heard me, and then he got the information. He understood. He is 100% invested in paper. That is a terrible thing to do. We want to be what? We want to have diversification. But I teach people to get into assets, land, art, gold, silver. Now, I don't get into art. I call art collectible coins today. That's the new art, because that's affordable to us, not the tens and hundreds of millionaires and billionaires. That they deal with the Van Goghs and all that kind of stuff. But our art is like this, and like the White House coin, the Miles Standish, and the Lady Liberty coins, and the Black Panther, and that's our art, and it's worth something. It's not a piece of Kansas with a bunch of paint on it. That you got to really watch out and be careful with, or it's not worth as much as it used to be. Anyway, when we are teaching this principle, people listen. Well, this machinist listened. He joined 7K specifically to buy $10,000 worth of silver the day he joined. He joined, he sent in a wire from his bank, and he converted 10,000 that day into silver. He didn't look at what price it was, what this was, that. He just knew he was getting a good deal, and they weren't going to report him on a 1099-B to the government. He was very interested in that fact. And now he's converted his paper to gold and silver, kind of the percentages that he's very comfortable with. But he's turned into an avid coin collector, and he buys just about every kind of coin that comes out. And he recognizes that, and he could sell a lot of his coins, but he doesn't want to sell them. He's seen how they've increased in value. Like Lady Liberty, we paid $199 for. Now the company had a few left, and if people joined after the ability that they had, like we had members to buy it, they gave the new people in random, just sequence, they'd send them, say, hey, we got a Lady Liberty, we're going to sell it to you for $450 if you want it. A 1 ounce Lady Liberty. Well, a lot of people turn that down. Well, one of the guys on the training session this morning, he had one to, he snapped it up. And I said, what a smart man you are. Because see, you can turn around and sell that Lady Liberty for over $1,000. You got people clamoring, wanting that for 1 ounce Lady Liberty, and they're willing to pay over $1,000 for it. And so, those are the kind of art coins that I'm talking about. And he looks at everything, and plus he has a commission. So I'm going to get back to now one of the retired persons that had $28,000 over this 4.5 year period that they've saved, but it's worth 78% more than he had. And he said, we'd have never saved that money. They've been trying to save all their life, never could save, because they would, emergency comes up, they'd spend what was in the savings. Guess what? Emergencies still come up, but they find another way. They don't sell their coins. Amazing. Okay. And now they are secure with their bullion they've saved and their coins, that they now really have a retirement. They have even something to depend on that they never had before, and didn't have a think that they had a chance of getting it in the future. And they got it through this process, and by just following the system and doing what we do. And by the way, they buy 3 coins a month, 1 on each of their business family pack, and have been doing it for almost 3 years now. And they couldn't afford the 1, right? Okay. And we talked about that today because they ranked up the bronze, and we talked about they followed my rule, putting the money into, leaving their money, not pulling it out, no matter what emergency is. That money can exist. That's their business. And they've been in the hospital several times. He and his wife had several operations over this period of time. We looked at it and we said, now let's review the 4.5 years. You've got this 28,000 that's worth 78% more. And you haven't really spent any money out of your pocket. No, he actually has a positive cash flow because his commissions paid for all of his coins. His commissions paid for the coins they bought. His commissions even got to where they were had helped pay their bills. And so he ended up making a net positive gain out of everything, in addition to the tax consequences, because remember, he's still working. So he has come out in building a business for himself, part-time, just following the system and making runs in 4 years. Not making a $2,000 check every week, but making a check every single week now, consistently. So in summary, I'm gonna lead this one thing real quick, kind of what I always do here, but this is the crux of the whole thing. 2 years to learn. Unless you're a six-figure income earner, multiple years in network marketing already, and have done it consistently for multiple years, like Gary, you don't know how to do network marketing. Just admit it to yourself. Don't be prideful. Just admit it. You don't. You might think you know how, but you don't. You don't until you're successful at it. And that's a minimum of a six-figure for multiple years. I'm $1 million earner for multiple years. So whose system you want to follow? Somebody's a six-figure earner or somebody's $1 million earner? A system real simple, 7 pieces of paper. But the real key is that 2 years. Then you're going to learn skills, attitudes, and techniques. You're going to learn through trial and error. But you're going to learn skills, attitudes, and techniques specific for 7K in this business. And I'm going to teach them to you. Kind of like the stuff that we had here, you're going to get advanced. So you're going to get a lot more than just how to ask somebody this, how to say this. No, you're going to get tons more, because that's all part of SAT, skills, attitudes, and techniques. But you can't get it all in a day. You can't get it all in a month. It's going to take 2 years. And just recognize that you get to earn while you learn. You get to accumulate wealth. You get to protect your wealth. You know, what better situation could you be in? What better situation could you offer someone? And the key here is then you apply that for the next 3 to 5 years, and you will build a six-figure income if you're following my system. What is that? This right here. But if you're not committing 10 hours a week for 2 years, you're not really doing that. But it's not just the hours, it's what you do in the hours. You got to expose the business to 5 people a day, 5 days a week. And here's where nearly every one of you fail. You're not doing the 5 a day. You're doing it the way you want. But if you do the 5 a day, the way I teach, you're going to make that six-figure residual income a lot quicker and a lot faster. And I know that, but you know, a lot of people make it without doing a 5 a day. Now, some do 30 a day, like Wayne Clark, like an example I'm about to tell you about. Well, if it takes longer than 30 minutes to do this, you're doing it wrong. That's the whole key. Okay. But your follow-up and things like that, that's what takes time in doing and learning how to do that properly. Okay. So how do you do the 5 a day in less than that? You call up people with either one of my scripts I give you, or you do it the way I do it. I teach people when they first get into this business. You call up and you say, "Kule, hey, I just can't believe what I just saw. Unbelievable. I'm going to shoot you a video that's about 11 minutes long or so. I want you to watch it and see if you see what I saw. It's just unbelievable. I'm going to call you back in about an hour. and you, I want to see if you see what I saw. Bye. Shoot them a video. But then you did, how long did it take? You tell me you can't do 5 of those in a few minutes, less than 10 minutes, less than 15. Then you call them back in an hour and you say, cool, what did you see? What did you see? Tell me what you like best about what you saw. Well, I hadn't seen the video yet, cool. I hadn't. Oh, man, this is important. Watch that. Take the 11 minutes out of your time. Watch that thing. I'm going to call you back in an hour. So you just keep doing that until they watch the dumb video. You don't tell them what it is. You don't tell them anything until they watch the video. Your job is to get them to watch a video. Now, you can use the Y7K, which is the one I'm kind of using more of, or you can use the wealth strategies. You can use any number of those videos, but you use one that explains the company, the products, and at the end, the business aspects. But the company and the products and why you need them is all up front in all the videos. And then here's the key, what else everybody doesn't do. And I know it, except a few. Those few are the ones that really make it. You watch a video once a day, 5 days a week. I didn't ask you to do it for 7, 5 days a week. For 2 years. You have to watch videos. You have to see a video 7 times before you know what's on that video. And so that means every 7K video you have in your back office and on your app, you have to have seen those. So that's your job. So that's about 30 minutes for every day. But you got to watch that video and not multitask. So you can't have the TV going, texting and watching video. No, concentrate. And then most of you are doing this. Nearly everybody does this and wants to make some money. They attend class. And I applaud you because you take that time that others don't do. So you're doing something different that others won't, so you can have tomorrow what others can't. Okay. And then make that list of 100 in the beginning, but I ask you and I tell you and I teach, you must have a list of 500 people. And so you go through that list, you go through A to Z. You don't even try to pick, after you do your initial list of your 100, the top people with your sponsor and your follow-ups and things. After you do that, for the next 2 years, you're working that list right through that 500 going back. And each time you got something different. So you're going to talk to people your first year that you're going to follow up with, because if you do 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 a week, that's 100 a month. Through a list, it's going to take you 5 months to go through 500. And then you start over and you come back. By the time the only people you take off the list is people already in the business with you. Everybody else is still on that list. I don't care if they tell you, don't you ever call me back again. You still call them back because their life changes. And you go, hey, Kugale, hey, look, I got to tell you, you know, this thing that I told you about 5 months ago, look, I've already made $18,000 in this, and I've got gold and silver. You won't believe. Let me shoot you another video. I think you ought to take another look. It's just that simple. And if they say no, that's okay. Next 5. Do you want to make the big money? Get on 5 a day now, after you've established a big business, a foundation that y'all got. That's how you make the big money. You got to do this for 2 years. Then you learn the bigger aspects of the business. So go through 5 months. Okay, what's 5 months times 7 times? I tell you, you got to work your list 7 times. Everything I do is 7s. There's a real need, or number of completion is 7. There's a reason I do everything in 7s. You got to watch the video 7 times over a period of time. Don't sit there and watch it 7 times in a row. you won't learn what you need to learn. You go through everything, you start over again. Okay. 7s. It takes 5 months. Let's say 5 months to go through that 500. 500 times 7 is 3,500. Do you know my sister joined me, my sister, after 3.5, no, after 3 years. And she said no all the times in between. I'm just telling you, do my system and keep your attitude in the right place. And if you start getting a stinking attitude, go read it. If you start thinking, well, I'm not making enough money, look at all those other people with their, that's a stinking attitude. That's why I have you reading this every day to start your day off. And then when you get, hey, we're all human. That's going to happen. When you get that stinking attitude, go read it. Because guess what? The only thing you can do is play on the one string we have, and that's our attitude. Life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. And so it is with you. We're in charge of our attitudes. You got to learn that. People don't want to join people with bad attitudes. And it shows through. You may not think it does, but it does. And that's why I asked you to read the Bible 15 minutes a day to learn those skills, principles, all those principles and techniques that every major motivational speaker will admits they got them all from the Bible. So may as well learn them firsthand. Okay, just 15 minutes. And then I'm going to tell you, after those 2 years, you will have this with 7K, because you're at the right place at the right time with the right people, the right company, right products, right market, right everything. So you can't help but succeed once you have these 3 beliefs internalized. But see, you don't start out with that internalized. But each of you know I do. And I think each of you know that Brother Gary does. And I think, and when you ultimately get that, and you will have it, I'll guarantee, after those 2 years. And so we get back to what's important. You all know that's a business family pack. And you all know build left, build right, drive, drive, drive. Don't try and make money off these. These are control centers. Stay active. They're future leverage centers. But let me tell you, if you build the business this way and you teach it the way I teach, and you teach your people this system, they're going to stay in and buy that coin. Because see, that person, let's just say that's a person that's not your business family pack. That's a person down on a side of your business family pack, and they never sponsored a person. But this is really what Jim did for a year almost, where there's an organization, but it really wasn't making a check. But say, let's take this person who did nothing except buy their coin every month, okay? And buy some silver and gold. And after years, they keep doing this, they keep renewing, and they got this huge group. And then they have this huge amount of points here in their bank. And let's say they're not even doing the system, they're just buying. But then we come back to them, like I teach, and we let them know. But see, that person could have never, ever built a team like that in their entire lifetime. They don't have the skills. They don't have the wherewithal to do that. But this is what sets this company apart from every other company in the world, and this comp plan. And I know because I helped put this comp plan together. And these are the nuances of it. You go back to that person and you show them, get them to admit, look at all this thing. You could have never built that. So here, you've got, let's say 100,000 or 10,000 or 500,000 or 1,000,000 points there. We got people like that in our group, okay? But they do this. Remember, I told you that everybody ends up with a business family pack eventually. Let me show you the one key where they do. And anytime this happens to anybody, as you're looking in your downline report, which I teach y'all how to use, you do this. Look, let's say they got 400,000 here. They've been buying the coin of the month, and let's say it's a 20-point coin, okay? And 12 months times 20 points is 240 points. So they got 240 points on this side. They've never sponsored a person, right? Okay, the next year, they buy the coin every month, 20 points. It's always, it goes to, they get credit for that too, you know, and they got 480 points now on this side. And they got 500,000 over here, or 200,000 or 100,000, whatever it is. Because they didn't lose their points because they bought the coin every month. Very important to do that. That's why we buy on all of our business family packs, on every one of them, not just one. Okay, but you go to that person and you say, if I show you how you could end up making $500 a week or a month for the rest of your life, would you take a few minutes just to let me show you? Because it's free information. I've never had anybody tell me no to that question, or any of my people have never had anybody tell them no. You pull out the back office, you show them, you take a piece of paper and you show them this. And you say, look, I know you didn't look at the business part, but I started with a business family pack. That's what Bob teaches. That's what he does. That's what everybody's successful. Everybody making money in this does this. And so let me show you what it means. You're going to sponsor your spouse. You're going to sponsor your company or your child or your mother or your dad or whoever. And you're going to put them over here. You're going to pay for it. It's $199. That's $200 here and $200 here. But see, those 50 points are going to come up here. You're going to have 500 points. You're qualified. You're going to get a $500 check. So really, you got those memberships for free, basically. And you're going to get 2 extra coins in the membership, and you're going to have some extra cash left over. But you need to learn how to do the bid, because see, if you do ever sponsor a person and place them on the left, and that person starts making a $500 check a month, that means you're going to have 1,000 points. They got to have 500 points on the left, 500 points, just like you did. And when they do, that'll be 1,000 points coming up to you on this side in a month. And all you have to do is buy a coin on this side, and bingo, you make $1,000 that month. And you bought an extra coin. Who wouldn't do that? Well, what happens when a person over here, maybe this person sponsored a person who sponsored a person, you didn't even sponsor them, and they start making 500 a week? But that'd be 1,000 points coming up every week. Now, the most you can make is $500, but would you turn down $500 for the rest of your life? Having about 3 coins a month, making $500 a week. Who wouldn't do that? So what if it took you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years until somebody found somebody, or you found somebody who did something like that? Now, let me show you the bigger picture. This is the way I built my business. Remember I told you I built it part-time? Well, let me just show you. What happens when you have one person over here making $500 a month? That's 1,000 a month coming up. And you got another person over here making 500 every other week. And you got another person over here making 500 a week. And you got another. See, I got hundreds and hundreds of people on both sides. And it doesn't mean, I didn't matter if I sponsored them or not. But if I've got one person that ends up making over time, like I did in 2020, it wasn't that I had so many people, it's that I had at least 5 people averaging $500 a week on my left team, and 5 people averaging $500 a week on my right team. Actually had more than that, but just 5. Well, 5 people is 1,000 a week times 5 people is 5,000 a week. 5,000 a week coming up, you better be a gold. Because if you're just a silver, all you're going to get paid is $3,500 a week, but that's pretty good money. Now I just showed you the long term of this, but you don't have to have people making tons of money. Do you know the average person, when I told you, makes in network marketing over all these years? Less than 10%. Make $10,000 a month. In all the years of network marketing. That's pretty cool. All these figures and stuff is on Direct Sales Association. Facts and figures and numbers and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I want to show you the big time picture over time. And we, as y'all all know, we're only open in America, 18 months in Canada, and we're open in the UK for about 9 months, and we're open in Australia for about 8 months, New Zealand for about 6 months, and recently opened in Singapore and Ireland. And we got the rest of the world to open, but look what we got in the United States. These hotspots are most of it, a lot of here, that's not me. That's Yuri and them up there that has that other group in Hawaii. But the hotspots used to be Idaho and Montana. But that's when it was growing earlier when we did it. But I want to share with you that most of these hotspots are my business, in my group, people in my group here. And one of the biggest hotspots that I like to show people that's Hawaii, y'all. Look at Hawaii. Is that a clue? Canada doesn't even have a hotspot up there. But they got their first goal now. It's just spread out everywhere. And most of it is back in the United States. Yeah. Okay. So vision and showing people what the opportunity is going to be is part of your responsibility and a partner. And that's why things like this is also important. And what I want to leave you with is a little story. And you're going to probably hear about it on the corporate call Monday night. So I'm going to give you a preview. Hawaii, look, Wayne Clark was hot. And he built a hotspot, and it got us, to where we were, consistently making 20, 25,000, a month. Hawaii came in, and then, that's a whole new line. It helped me get George to goal, and helped all of you. But it bumped us up to 10,000 average a week. That's nice income at my age, and not really, my work hard is helping you, helping my people is my hard work. That's where my time, but I don't look at it as work. I look at it as enjoyment. I mean, I love you. I enjoy helping you. I want you to succeed bigger than I did in the 90s, because you have much better opportunity than I had. But if I had that fire in my belly to make money, believe me, I'd be making that $12,500 a week, which I got the points to do. But I don't have the fire in my belly anyway. Money just doesn't motivate me like it used to, okay? I'm not turning it down, and I don't give it away, except for good causes. And but there was a young lady that I helped another person sponsor, kind of like the Gary, Cheryl, and Colleen story. On August the 3rd, this week, she's over in Florida, little small town. She's a realtor. She's done a little bit of network marketing, never really made any money in it. But she knew she needed gold and silver. And she wanted gold, kind of like Cheryl. No, she wanted gold and silver. I mean, she really knew she needed it. She didn't have any, and she heard the story. She saw it. She wanted part of this. And she got her premium. She started, I talked to her, we talked, she sponsored her husband, and she got her business family back, and then we went to work. And she said, well, what do I do? And I mean, she watched all the little quick start videos that I teach y'all to do, onboarding, skip buyer certification, even though she wants to know about gold and silver. I said, you want to make some money? Or you just want to learn about gold and silver? You're going to learn about gold and silver like Wayne Clark did while you're making money. Okay. And so I got her into the quick start. I got her to do the website walkthrough. She did all that she put her 2 hours of watching video, and she called me back and said, I'm ready to go to work. And said, I gave her my little video on the compensation plan and on what I teach, the 3 little videos to my system and it. And I said, okay, now watch that and we go to work. Okay, here's the story. Hawaii was hot. Wayne Clark was hot. This lady is hot. And all she does is exactly what I said. She doesn't ask me questions. She doesn't say why. She doesn't say what. She just does it. It's called teachable and coachable. And she's got a fire in her belly. She needs to make some money. Well, yesterday, I called her up and I said, I want you to look at something. I know you hadn't seen it, and I know you don't even know anything about it. I want you to go to your dashboard. Now, she is doing my job description, but she's doing more than 5 a day. Okay, everybody? She's doing like Wayne did. She's working 30 a day because she's making the time. She says, I need to make money. And I said, you got to sift through until you find the people, and you got to do exactly what I said and watch that video, follow up with it, and they do not answer questions. So when they got questions, you just put them on the phone with me. And she did. I've been on the phone. If y'all think you put me through 3 ways and Wayne put me through 3 ways, this girl keeps me on the phone all the time. I've got texts from her right now about people I need to talk to her with her. Okay. I called her up yesterday. I said, look at your dashboard. I want you to look at something on the far left-hand side. There's a contest there. You are number 5 in the whole company. And you just started August the 3rd. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, we're going to have you going to win this sucker, and you're going to win a 5-ounce Black Panther coin. I said, click on that, and so here comes the contest. I said, look, you gave everybody else in the company a month and a week head start, and they're going to know who Kimberly Wiley is Monday night because you're in the top 5. You're number 5. And I think by the end of the time we end this week, she may even be up higher. And so she's earning a check. She'll be a copper by the end of this week, and she'll probably be bronze next week or silver, one of the two. She keeps going at the rate she's going. She'll probably be silver next week. And she's helping a ton of people. And so that's what you can sponsor, a person like that on your left and your right, and you accelerate your process. But you can only do it if you're doing the 5 a day. If you fish without a lot of hooks in the water with bait on them, it takes longer to catch a beta fish. Hey, I hope that helped. I hope it gave you a lot of information about how to accumulate wealth, build wealth, and how to transfer that to other people, and put it to good use. I'm here to help. I'm here to answer questions. And aloha, and have a